morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to talk about some pretty big, pretty important, and incredibly official reveals that have come around from Black Bolt and White Flare. I say Black Bolt and White Flare. Yeah, they are Black Bolt and White Flare. I always worry sometimes I'm going to say it's from both and then look and actually they're all from the same set. That is not the case. We're talking Black Bolt and we're talking White Flare. And we need to start off with a card which I think could be incredibly impactful. We've got Jellicent EX. And Jellicent EX is kind of a big deal because it's got the ability Oceanic Curse, whereby as long as it's in the active spot, your opponent can't play any item cards or Pokemon tool cards from their hand. Wording here, of course, being very important because when we entered the Scarlet and Violet block, we turned items and tools into different cards. Used to be tools were a subset of items. We've now switched it so that tools and items are actually different categories of cards. Well, this just stops you playing any of them. And this is huge. Like, you get this going fast enough, and we know there's a basic coming that's also got an attack that can block items as well. And, you know, your opponent can't play stuff like Buddy Buddy Poffin to go and get their basics. They can't play stuff like Ultra Ball to go and get any of their Pokemon. They can't go playing Rare Candy, for instance, which is, you know, little bit of an issue if you're a stage 2 deck, and that's just scratching the surface. What you want to do, go to limitlesstcg.com, look up any deck list and just figure out how well it would run, or I suppose how poorly it would run if you suddenly just got rid of all of the item cards. I had a look a little while ago, and your average deck list is like 20 item cards, like a third of the deck. There's a lot going on here that you are just not going to be able to use. This could be a huge card. The attack, 2 energy, 80 or 160 if it's got 2 extra energy. Like, on the one hand, I want to look at this and go, well, realistically, getting the extra energy on is going to be a bit awkward, but it doesn't really matter. It's got a useful-ish attack. Really, this is a block, and then use whatever attack you've got. Your opponent's locked out the game. It's going to be fine. But of course, this fits into a Gardevoir deck. So actually here, it's going to be pretty easy, honestly. Because all you do is you whack it in a Gardevoir deck, and then actually you can get all the energy on you need using Gardevoir. And oh no, ladies and gentlemen. Oh no. Seriously, this card could wreck some dreams. Not the only thing that's gone and been revealed, though. Something else that got revealed was the artwork rare, illustration rare, to use the English term, of Emboar. Yeah, that's right. Got a lovely illustration rare coming along. I love Emboar. Emboar was always my favourite Stage 2 from Gen 5. I'm loving Oshawott lately, although I'm not a huge Samrock dude. But Emboar was always a pick in Gen 5. And let's not forget, this is basically a reprint of the old Emboar. They're doing this a bunch with some of the Gen 5 cards in this set. Not all of them, but like this Emboar is basically the old one. Now, they've added 40 damage to Heat Crash, and, you know, they've added 30 HP, and they've turned it from 2 fire, 2 colorless to 3 fire, 1 colorless. But it's the same kind of card. It's got a vanilla 4 energy attack that doesn't do great damage, and it's got the ability Inferno Fandango. Lets you attach as much fire energy during your turn as you like. And let's not forget, this literally won the World Championships in 2011 with Magnezone Prime. David Cohen literally won Worlds with this. The theory basically was, Magnezone had a built-in draw engine, drew until you had 6 cards in your hand, and you got to Lost Zone cards with Magnezone, as many as you like, doing 50 damage for each one Lost Zoned, and Emboar let you attach as much energy as you like. And there were other things around, but it was basically that was the combo. David Cohen very literally won the World Championships with this, so yeah. This was a good card back then, ladies and gentlemen. This was a very good deck. Is Emboar going to be as good nowadays? Probably not. Like, functionally, it's basically Fire Baxcalibur. And we all know that Baxcalibur kind of had a moment but then went away. And it's, stage 2 that lets you attach as much of a particular colored energy as you like during your turn. Obviously, it's going to depend a little bit on what partners we've got for it, but reality is we've seen enough of this to know it's probably not actually going to be that great, but I want this illustration rare. Now, one which I do think is going to see a lot of play is Hilda, your Gen 5 female protagonist. That's who Hilda is. And it's not a very exciting card, I'm going to be honest with you. But it's one of those cards that, despite not being exciting, you can just see that it's going to pop up in deck after deck after deck. Search your deck for an evolution Pokemon and an energy card, reveal them, put them into your hand, shuffle your deck. That's it. That's what it does. The thing is, evolution Pokemon could be anything other than a basic, could be an EX, it doesn't matter. And it specifically says energy card, it doesn't say basic energy card. So you can go and get your special energy and all of that. And essentially you add it all together and you go, oh, yeah, that's actually a really, really good card. Like a really genuinely, legitimately good card. It's the kind of thing you'll see as a 1 or 2 of in a lot of decks. But going to get an evolution Pokemon and a special energy, like I say, this is not an exciting card. And I'm not pretending that it is an exciting card. But I gotta say, ladies and gentlemen, this is a card which I do expect to see a whole bunch of play. So yay! Hilda! Raise your hand quickly if you actually knew that the female protagonist in Gen 5 was called Hilda. And now put your hand down, nobody believes you. Now moving on, we've also got ourselves another couple of cards, including Archeops. And we know Archeops, we're talking about a Stage 2 fossil Pokemon, right? So the deal with Stage 2 fossil Pokemon is, they better be good. They had better be good. Because if they're not good, you're just not going to play them. They are way too awkward to get into play. And if they're not good, we're just not going to bother with them even for a moment. Is this one good enough? Might actually be. There is a chance. This one might actually be. Once during your turn, the attack's garbage. Don't worry about the attack. But once during your turn, if this Pokemon is in the active spot, you can devolve one of your opponent's evolved Pokemon by putting the highest stage evolution card on it into your opponent's hand. You get to devolve one of your opponent's Pokemon during the turn. And there's so much fun you can have with this. Firstly, we've got the kind of mid-turn, you got 70 HP and used a rare candy to evolve, so I'm going to get rid of your stage 2 down to a basic. And oh, it's already got enough damage on, so you get KO'd. But then we've also got the, hang on a second, that Dragapult is absolutely massive, 320 HP, no weakness. I can't KO Dragapult. But you rare candied it and I can KO Dreepy. Or even if you didn't rare candy it, I can still KO Dracloak. It's not that big. So you devolve it, and then you can immediately attack. And we've had TM Devolution for a little while now, which does a very similar kind of thing. The big difference here is you do this and then you still get your attack. The issue with TM Devolution is there's too many times where you devolve, your opponent re-evolves, and you've kind of lost it. Here, you devolve, and it's only one Pokemon, admittedly, you're only devolving one Pokemon. But you're then sat there ready to go. And you can attack. And that is why I love this. The fact that you can devolve and then go for your attack. And let's not forget, Rescue Ball's still in the format, so you can just retreat nice and easily. Yeah, not too bad, ladies and gentlemen. Not too bad. What else has been revealed? Volcarona. I don't mind Volcarona. Volcarona's kind of interesting. There's a reason it gets last billing on this video. The ability Torrid Scale says you must discard a basic fire energy to use the ability, but then you make your opponent's active Pokemon burned. And we know we've got that Magmortar running around at the moment, which adds burn damage. And we did see there was a deck that we saw having some fun in Bologna, which was built around stuff like this Magmortar, burning, and then using Badoo to basically, get your opponent not being able to use items while you sit there burning them. Now, that deck actually used Volcarona, but Volcarona has to be in the active spot. The advantage of playing around with Volcarona here is that you can actually do it from the bench, and I do think that makes a gigantic difference. Could be fun. Is it going to be perfect? No. Could it be fun? Oh my word, yes. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you need to know. And now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about these new cards. Tell me how hyped you are for Black Bolt and White Flare. Tell me anything you want to tell me in the comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. And get shout-outs on the channel like the lovely Andrew Kincaid, who's been a supporter of ours for a while now and seems to be a very lovely person. So shout-out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.